New York, big city of dreams.
I'm coming straight out.
New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Nick of Time show here. Give you that Knicks talk just in Nick of Time. And man, listen, it's been a crazy season. The Knicks just lost to the Atlanta Hawks in Game 5, 103-89. I mean, Julius Randle gives you, he doesn't give you his usual Julius Randle game he's giving you all season, but better than has been lately with 23 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists, and 8 turnovers. Reggie Bullock gives you 12 points, far cry from the 0 the game before. R.J. Barrett drops in with 17 points, and that's all she wrote. And you got some contributions from the bench as well. But at the end of the day, it was a little bit too much Trey. It was a little bit too much Clint Capella, and the Knicks are going home a little bit early this season. But I'm here to say, despite how this series has ended, no one expected us to be here at this point. No one expected us to even get to the playoffs in the 4th seed. We've projected to only win 22 games, and we're in the playoffs right now for the first time in 8 years. So even though it's a bittersweet feeling getting here and losing, we're here for the first time, and there's a lot of promise going forward, man. We have cap space. We have picks. We have options. We have a smart front office who's not going to overpay. We have Leon Rose. We have, of course,
shout out the Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
Worldwide West in the front office recruiting. We have Quickly. We have R.J. Barrett. We have young pieces. We have a lot going for us. So even though it was a tough pill to swallow that we lost today, we're still heading in the right direction. And it is what it is. And congratulations to the Hawks. I wish we'd have beat them and the balding Trae Young, but it is what it is sometimes, you know what I'm saying? The New York and me still had to take one more shot. The New Yorker and me still had to take one more shot. But yeah, it is what it is at this point. So Ryan, how you feeling today, man?
I mean, it's a disappointing loss. I expected the Knicks to come through with a bit more fight than they did tonight. But look, it is what it is. You got to give the Hawks their props. The Hawks are a better team. They have better talent on their squad. And, the Knicks are missing some pieces, man. Like, the Knicks definitely got to sign some pieces this offseason, hopefully bring in another star and run it back.
Yeah, I'll say this, Ryan. All year long, it seemed like our defense was ahead of the offense, right? Somewhere towards the middle of the season, closer to the end of the season, it seemed like our offense caught up, right? You started shooting over 40% from 3. Guys who weren't hitting before were now hitting, and it looked like we turned the corner. When we got to the playoffs, maybe it's the pressure, maybe it's seeing schemes we've never seen before. But we didn't really keep up that offensive production that we were seeing towards the latter half of the season. We haven't hit 100 points in the last few games, 89 points today, and it just seems like scoring was a struggle for us in general. And as good as Randle has been all season, the playmaking caught up to him. I do feel like the way he was making his plays in the beginning of the season was less about like complicated reads and more just learning the system and knowing Tom's system and knowing that this player is going to be here every single time. This player is going to be here every single time, and it's not always just just computing the game and analyzing the game on the fly. And I think that's one of Randle's biggest weaknesses right now. And can he get better? I'm not sure. I mean, I know he can get better by looking at the tape and seeing what the defense did to him. I know he'll get better in the offseason, but how much he'll get better is yet to be seen. But he's had a great season so far, and I think he'll come back this next season even stronger.
Yeah, man. Like, even though I know I know the Knicks losing this series, a lot of it's going to be pinned on Randle, but I feel like a lot of this has to be pinned on Thibs as well, because if you look throughout this whole series, the only adjustment Thibs made was to bench Alfred Payton and to bring Derrick Rose into the starting lineup.
Right.
That was pretty much the only change he made. Besides that, besides the other change he made with guarding Trae Young on the pick and roll in game 2, where the bigs actually, played Trae up close and kind of like doubled him, so where Trae couldn't really, get a head start to the basket. But it seemed like the Knicks just reverted back to just backing off Trae and allowing Trae to do whatever he wants in the paint. But I would have at least wanted to see Thibs make some type of change, because you know how the saying goes with Albert Einstein, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Yeah, we say it all the time on the show. Yeah.
Exactly. I would have seen okay, for example, Julius Randle is struggling on the perimeter, right? Every time he makes a move, the Hawks bring a double team, whatever the case may be. Why not try to transition Randle to the post, where he has his back to the basket, and if the Hawks bring a double team, he can easily see where the double is coming from and pass out to open player. I didn't see no changes there. What about making a change in the rotation on the starting lineup? Because clearly, this game, you saw Rose was tired, because Rose is playing all those minutes because he got pushed into the starting lineup. He's playing all these minutes, and he's tired. So why not try to push somebody else into the starting lineup and have Rose come off the bench to try and preserve him a bit more? I understand, with Rose in the starting lineup, it helped the Knicks to keep pace with the Hawks, whereas, if Alfred Payton was in the starting lineup, the Knicks would fall behind it, and it's up to the second unit to catch up. But this whole season, the Knicks' advantage was the second unit, killing other teams' second unit. So it's okay, if you're going to keep Alf on the bench, I don't see no harm in trying to, push Frank into the starting lineup, knowing that he can defend and, maybe he can cause Trae some problems and try to slow down Trae Young, because it's okay, if Julius Randle isn't performing on our end, why not try to slow down Trae Young on the other end? You know what I'm saying? And why not try to push in Frank to see what Frank could do, or pushing somebody off, knock somebody, that's one thing I don't like about Thibs, because even with the Hawks, you heard how the Hawks were playing Okongwu, the big man off the bench.
Right.
And he really got playing time all season. But clearly Nate McMillan saw that he was effective in this series and gave him a chance to see what he can do. And I'm to me, Thibs didn't give Frank a chance. He didn't give Knox a chance. He didn't give anybody else a chance. You know what I'm saying? And it's you have to try something different. You cannot just keep trying the same things and expect a different result. And I mean, it is what it is. There wasn't much changes, and the Hawks just, ran through us.
Yeah. There's a lot to digest in that little the calmest Ryan G rant you ever hear in your life. All right.
Take over for a quick while. I'll be right back.
All right, cool. So, okay, you'll be right back. All right, cool. I want to hear your opinions on this though, but that's cool. But so listen, I'm going to start. First and foremost, I'll say this: the Discord link is open if you want to chat about the season. Right? All you got to do is click the link that Fritz has. I'm gonna pin this message right now. Click the link that Fritz put in the chat, and you're able to chat with us live on the Discord link. All right. Now let's talk about it. Now, first and foremost, one of the things that Ryan said is Tom Thibodeau all season hasn't been the guy who adjusts, right? He doesn't adjust well. He's made a few adjustments during this season. I mean, during this postseason anyway. The biggest one being Derrick Rose to the starting lineup. But to Ryan's point, I agree with him. I agree with him and disagree with him at the same time. Right? I do believe that Frank should have gotten more burn in this series. I know Raw earlier was really saying, you know what, he really thought that Frank was going to play a lot more. I never really thought that, just because I just see the patterns, man. He's never really giving Frank that many minutes. He gave him a few spot minutes. Now, I'll say this though, I wouldn't go as far as starting Frank in the middle of the postseason. I feel like stuff like that, you kind of have to put Frank into rhythm to start him. To start Frank in the middle of the postseason when we're down 3-1 or 2, like, to me, that's a little bit too much, especially considering, you know who your players are at this point. You know their temperaments. Frank is more of like a rhythm person. I would not do that for him. I would not have Frank start at the very beginning of Game 5 of the NBA playoffs. Now, if I'm going to put Frank in, though, I would put him in later on to put him on Trey. That's number one, right? But number two, as opposed to, when he talks about adjustments, listen, man, there are adjustments that should have been made. I do feel like Reggie Bullock should have been on Trey since Game 1. But I also feel like, you know what, we've never tried other lineups. Like Ryan said, we never really completely went small. We never tried Julius Randle at the 5 and pulling Clint Capella out at spurts. I think that's a missed opportunity that we had earlier, you know. Randle, we've made some adjustments by, you know, isoing Randle in the middle of the floor and giving these driving lanes, right? But he's had problems finishing in the middle once he got to the rim. Clint Capella was out there blocking plenty of shots. And I think we kind of missed some opportunities to kind of go small. We went small for a few minutes in the game before this, in Game 4, when we was getting blown out and we had Obi in there with Randle, you know. And granted, it didn't always look pretty, but I do feel like, you know, at times we have to try things out like that to see if they work. And you know what it is too? You give credit to Thibs, right? Because we are where we are right now because of familiarity and because he's willing to, you know, try things and drill things in players' heads over and over again, so to the point where it becomes routine. That's why we're 4th in the East at this point. But sometimes what happens when you don't experiment in the middle of the season is like when playoff time comes, now you're trying to experiment and then it kind of bites you in the butt, you know? Like we could have maybe experimented with playing small a little bit earlier and gotten used to that. We could have experimented more with playing another point guard earlier instead of Elfrid Payton. Even though we all saw that, you know, Elfrid Payton was a ceremonial opener and he wasn't a true point guard for this team. We all saw it, and even Tibbs kind of saw it, and we should have experimented earlier with that too. Like, so there's things, I don't know, this now granted, Thibs has gotten a lot more, he's gotten flexible. He's gotten more flexible with this team than he has in previous teams, right? Like previously we did not shoot as many threes. I mean, previously he did not allow teams to shoot as many threes as this team has currently is shooting. So he has expanded in his thinking right now, but there's still a ways to go for Tibbs to kind of make adjustments on the fly, expand his thinking more, and things of that nature. And you know what? I'm curious to see what they're going to do to our roster and how hard, you know, how much are they going to change it up. Because you know what? I want to see a lot of these same guys back, but I also want to see Tiz back trying some combinations that can be different next season, that can, you know, help us later on in the playoffs when we make a playoff run.
Yeah, most definitely. I think watching this series, like, there were a few things that were glaring to me. Like, the Knicks definitely missed Mitchell Robinson.
Absolutely.
Definitely missed Mitch, because Atlanta's big men, they were big, they were taller, they were more athletic, and they killed the Knicks on the boards. Like, often you would see Todd Gibson Noel struggle trying to get rebounds against Capella, Collins, Okongwu, all these big dudes that they got on Atlanta. So the Knicks definitely missed Mitchell Robinson, and I hope that he gets healthy and he'll be good to go, you know, next season, which, you know, is going to be the case.
Right.
Then the Knicks also definitely need a playmaking point guard, because that killed us this series. Because once they took Randle out of the game and Randle was not himself, the Knicks had no type of playmaking whatsoever. And the Knicks were basically, like you said, they were doing isolation. It was basically just one-on-one, and then they would just dribble into traffic. And then, like that's not an effective offense. So the Knicks definitely need a playmaking point guard. And I'm not trying to throw dirt on Randle. Like Knicks, like one of the top priorities is to re-sign Randle. I feel like Randle could be a great part of this team, but at the same time, like the Knicks need another star player. And when I say another star player, I mean a number one, a player that is going to be able to take control of the team, create shots, knock them down, and create offense for other players. Like Randle could be that great number 2 option, and probably even a number 3 option on a great team, But Randle cannot be a number 1 option because, as you can see, like he hasn't learned the art of like you said, adjusting on the fly.
Yeah.
Seeing different coverages and being like, okay, they're playing defense on me this way, so let me try this to try to counteract that. Like he's not there yet as a player. So yeah, the Knicks need a number 1 option.
Absolutely. 8 turnovers on the night for Julius Randle. Second guess himself a lot. You know what I mean? Like I felt like, and especially like he actually finished the game decently in the first half decently, but in that first quarter, the first 2 quarters especially, even the third quarter, there was times where I feel like he was driving when he should have shot, shooting when he should have drove, hesitating when he had an open shot into a contested shot. I feel like his decision making was all over the place. He was making passes that weren't really warranted at the time. He just seemed really frazzled. And I feel like even the refs took us out of the game a little bit too. I do feel like the third quarter he came out, hit a 3 immediately, which was fine. Gets a foul call on a call that on a drawn foul that Trae Young has done all year, and it kind of screwed us up. And I think it screwed up his timing even more. You know what I mean? And I'm not making excuses for Randle, because a lot of those turnovers was under his own doing and his own lack of player development at this point. But and I'm not saying he's a bad player either. He's been great for us. He's led us to the 4th seed in the East. But he just has to get better at reading the game on the fly, and that's just is what it is, And salute to the chat, salute to the chat, and salute to the people who are waiting to talk. I'm gonna start bringing you guys in. I see there's a little of a line already, so let's get it going, man. Let's get it going. I'm gonna start bringing you guys in so we can talk about this game and the end of the season, man. Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. All right, caller. You are now live in the chat. All you gotta do is hit that KOT live button a few times, and also hit watch stream where you see Ryan's face, and you'll be good to go. Okay, caller. And while we're waiting for the caller to get it together, and caller, you gotta turn your mic on as well because your mic is off. All right, caller. All right. So salute to the chat so far, man. Shout out to D Nice, who says, yeah, all those games won were without Mitch. Yeah, man, we really miss Mitch and his rebounding and his length. He really has more of the length to combat Capella. Also, Nerlens Noel's ankle hasn't really been good all series. I think it's kind of affected his shot blocking and even just the way he's been hitting the floor. You know what I mean? He's been hitting the floor a lot. And I think he's just trying to keep pressure off of those ankles.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Noel was definitely affected. Like you can tell, like he wasn't his usual self, and I think that also hurt the Knicks as well. But definitely, like I think the Knicks could have definitely used Mitch in this series.
For sure, he definitely could have used Mitch this series. And all right, I'm bringing in another caller because for some reason he wasn't linking. All right. Okay, shout out. Okay, Reed, you're now live in the chat. All you gotta do is hit that KOT live button a few times. Yeah. And then also hit watch stream. Hit watch stream so you can hear Ryan G as well. All right.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you perfectly fine.
Oh, let me make sure it didn't switch over yet. Hold on, there we go.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? We live now, right?
Yeah, we live now.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, you hit that watch stream button.
Press the green button.
Hit watch. Did you hit watch stream? Can you hear Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan, say something, Ryan.
Say something, Ryan.
Yo.
Yeah, I hear you, Ryan. We good. We locked
All
and loaded.
right, cool, perfect. We live. Yo.
All right, sorry for the brief intermission. I was making sure I get it right. Guys, what's up, KOT team? I believe we had to sit down and smell the roses. We were expected to win 21 games this season.
Absolutely.
You got to understand that we are playing with a Fizdale team. I hate to talk about this guy, but
the Fizdale team.
We were playing with a
opening
Fizdale
up all
team
wounds.
that overperform, guys. Let's think about it from a larger perspective now. Let's be for real. No one expected the New York Knicks to be the number 4 team, which is a top 5 team in the Eastern Conference this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we know.
It's true.
We was dealing with Peyton. We all know Peyton is limited. That's fine. It's cool. And we knew that we were supposed to put Rose in the starting lineup. But during that time, the COVID protocols, and they want to make sure that they're protecting everybody in the team. So it's fine. Knicks fans, this is a great season.
Yeah.
We got outclassed. That's all. We got outclassed. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Simple as that. We got outclassed. We got outnumbered because the Atlanta Hawks have talented two-way players, and they have a star in Trey Young. So for us as Knicks players or Knicks fans the next season, we're not going to get a star that's in the age 30 and up range. It's not going to happen. We got to find a star within the draft or someone that's budding or trending upwards for us to just throw the bag at them and entice them, because we already had the foundation laid out. We good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is this: we know Randle's a 2B. We know that he's a 2B player.
Yeah.
We got to stop looking for the star. We got to start looking for older stars. We got to look for stars that are trending upwards and entice them with the bag. That's it. We need guard play. We need our backcourt was depleted. Let's be for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's be for real. Capella was talking like he was David Robinson out there. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, man. We don't have a real big man in Mitch over here to kind of combat his length. He can kind of talk that smack because nobody can really go at him like he can really. So I mean,
exactly,
it is what it is. We had Taj over there who's a 6'9" power forward doing everything he can, and he did an admirable job. And we have Noel with a bad ankle. So
right.
who doesn't, he's a problem for him when he has a good ankle. So we really miss Mitch. We really miss Mitch.
But I hope Mitch sit down and soak in the season. I know he's injured, and I guess they did a smart thing by holding him out. And I hope he sit down and soak in what the Garden is like when it's rocking.
Exactly.
And when you're playing at a high level, and understand and take that energy that Clint Capella was giving us, and use it to develop a game. Because I'm a big Mitchell Robinson fan, but he had to work on his game. Simple as that. He has to work on his game to be more of a moderate big man. I didn't say go out there and shoot threes, but work on your jump shot, work on your lateral movement, which you already have already. Work on the little things to make you stand out as a player. So when you're ready to say, I want to command my money, I could get my money. And that's it.
Yeah, that's it. And
that's
going to be, and salute to you, man. We got some other callers in the
all right.
shop. But say your name, where you from, man, because I don't think you
this is Reed from Flatbush, bro. Reed from Flatbush.
Exactly.
Flatbush
Brooklyn. In the building, all right? Shout out to Reed
sir.
from Flatbush, man. Shout out to, that's the real fan right now, because he's from Flatbush, and he's rocking with the Knicks. That's how you do it, man. Gunshots in the air from Flatbush over here rocking with us.
Peace out, y'all.
Yeah, peace out, man.
All right, man. Peace.
Shout out to my guy Reed from Flatbush, man. It's been a minute. Shout out to Flo Hypnotic, who sends a $4.99 super chat. He says, "Great season. We'll be back." I'm with you, man. We're gonna be back, man.
Yes, sir.
And this is the feeling of the Knicks Nation, man. Right now, you saw how the game ended, man. We lost, but the Knicks fans were sitting there, and they were into the game still. They were rooting for their team still. They were clapping still. And they were paying homage to the Knicks because they already know what the season was about. No one expected us to be here. So, I know us as Knicks fans, it's disappointing to lose, but we here, man. We here now. We made our stand. and nowhere to go but up, man. We just got to build from here. That's it. That's all it is. All right. Salute. All right, next caller up in the queue. What's going on, caller John? I think it's Reaper. You are live now. Hit that. You already know what to do. Hit that KOT live button a few times. I hit that watch stream, and you are now live on the KOT show. All right.
Hey, what's up, Jay Ellis? What up, chat?
What's going on?
Hey, yo.
A call.
Mm-hmm.
Reaper from Jersey. Yeah, it's these games have been tough to watch. We've talked a couple of times about it already, but I am pretty encouraged though. I think we're kind of down to Julius. I mean, we got to remember he's gotten better every year.
Right.
To this point, he saw something new. He experienced something new he's never experienced before, which is the playoffs. And I got to be honest, he essentially was shook, right?
Yeah.
And he played terrible because he was just shook and scared. And hopefully, I think, hopefully next year he just kind of maybe spends the summer, takes it in. And next year, he comes back strong and maybe add a few more things to the game. I agree with E about Tibbs being partially to blame for the losses, because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I think the last time we talked, I said, I would prefer if they stop making him the primary playmaker at this point. He's shook.
Right.
And his activity, the way he's been playing, has really affected the rest of the team really badly.
Yeah.
And so I think at this point, you just got to do something else. And then, and then just maybe have go to him sometimes, have run the offense through him sometimes, but to continue running the offense through him, because that's what we've done the whole year, I just thought was a really bad idea. And then on top of that too, G was saying, is I was actually surprised. I was they keep giving them the ball in the wing, top of the key, and he keeps dribbling it off his feet.
Yeah.
Or he'll basically drive to the lane. A lot of times he can finish. Sometimes he was able to finish because it'll be basically one person on him once he gets in the lane, and he'll pass it out. And then other times it'll be he'll drive into a crowded lane and then take a shot.
Yeah.
And so I think, so that had a huge impact on the team. So I just kind of felt like they should have just did, it's crazy to do, obviously, at this point. But when you're down 2-1 and you're desperate, at that point, you really just have to do something different with your offense and just try something a little different, because we knew, we're not going to win if he continues to play this way. And they didn't do anything about it. But, honestly, I am still encouraged, though, because he was shook,
Yeah.
I still think he's a very talented guy. You max him and just see what he comes back with next year. And you continue building through the draft. And as far as Mitchell Robinson, I've been saying it the whole year. It's Noel, I mean, he's done a great job filling in. But there's just being able to control that paint, the presence Mitch has, how he controls the paint. It's you needed that.
Yeah.
I was it really pissed me off that Capella was talking crazy the whole time.
Oh man.
And it's I know you guys talked a little bit about it, but how do you guys feel about that whole thing?
Oh man, I was pissed. I any Knicks fans, I wanted to throw something at them, but I'm just a fan. But it got me. Listen, obviously we were pissed, and even though the Knicks kind of played it off in the media, you can see on the court that they were pissed. There was two Knicks had technical fouls at halftime. Reggie Bullock was chirping all game. They were pissed as well. They were just kind of downplaying how pissed they really were. But I definitely didn't like it. I felt like it was disrespectful. And man, I can't wait for next season, man. When we get some newer players in here, or it's another year under our belt, I think we're going to really start to push back. What do you think about that, Ryan?
Yeah, man. I agree with you. It was straight disrespect. I was yo, if I was a player, I would have been going for Capella's head in that next game if I was a player. But yeah, but like we said, Capella had a right to talk that way because he was dominated the Knicks, and the Knicks really had nobody in the paint to hold him like that. So it's he was feeling himself. He was talking spicy, it definitely pissed off the Knicks players. I like seeing that passion from them, but I think a lot of it, was due to the fact that like they were losing, so they were just getting mad and like, just trying to start fights or whatever the case may be. But yeah, but like Jay Ellis said, man, like Knicks just need to rebuild. Well, not rebuild, but I mean like build on what they have and just come back next season even stronger. Then we'll see if they still be talking next season.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yo,
Yeah.
yo,
Actually, I have one more crazy like take on this. Like they beat us 4-1, obviously. But when I look at the roster, when I look at like this team versus Atlanta, it sounds crazy, but I just feel like we have a better team, especially with Mitch back. I think the issue was because of Randle, his play really just kind of like it was way too tight. All the rest of our players got really tight because Randle is like the playmaker. Everything runs off of him, and so it just kind of like disrupted everything. Offense, we saw like the second half of the season. I'm like, where is it? Obviously, and it's like when your playmaker is doing well and is keeping the defense off balance, everybody looks better. Everyone plays loose,
right?
And everyone played really tight. We just, just Randle didn't have it going, and Tibbs didn't make the adjustments to kind of like go somewhere else to kind of loosen everyone up a little bit, and it is what it is. I look at that whole team up and down. Yeah, they have some really good shooters that
you kind of breaking up a little bit, man. I'm not sure what's happening.
and they can go off the dribble. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, I was just saying, they have really good shooters, but I don't know. I just kind of feel like, I do feel like, next year if they can make the right adjustments, I think they can go back at them.
Yeah, man, I agree with you there.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yo, salute to you, Reaper, man. Always great insight. Thank you for the call, dog.
All right, thanks. Have a good night.
All right, man. You too.
You too, man.
Yeah, man. The playmaking is the playmaking has been bad from Randle, man. That's been a huge area of contention for us. When their MVPs outplaying our MVP by such a large margin, it's going to be really hard to win some of these games. And like I said earlier, Randle has done a great job playmaking all season long, and Tibbs has done a great job of putting him in situations to succeed. They kind of ran the same plays over and over and over again all season long.
Yeah.
To the point where Randle knows where our players are going to be before they even happen. Before it even happens, Hawks scouted that, and now they're forcing Randle to make reads on the fly, and that's not what Randle does. Randle does not make reads on the fly. Even today, like we won the 3-point battle, especially in that first half. We held them like 17% for three. We had like 41% from three in the first half. And a lot of those assists weren't from Randle, those assists were from other players. It was from Rose, it was from RJ. Those other people setting those guys up. All year long, Bullock has been the number one target for Randle. We have not been able to get that going this series. Only maybe one game. I feel like one game Randle was able to give Bullock some nice passes. And that was the game I think that Bullock had 0 points, Yeah. Ironically.
Yeah, and I forgot to add one thing too. Like it just popped up in my head right now since you mentioned Bullock. Like one thing I did not like about the Knicks this series is the fact that they did not attack Trae Young on the defensive end. Like they allowed Trae Young to hide on defense guarding Bullock, and they never tried to like switch Trae Young onto like, whether it be Rose or somebody, have them attack him and see if they can get him into foul trouble. They rarely try that all series. And I'm like, if you're not having success slowing down this guy on offense, why not get at him on defense? And I feel like that was another thing the Knicks could have done to, to at least see if they could try to like, make a comeback in the series, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, but you know what's funny though, Ryan? Because like, all right, they had on Trae on Bullock, right? The first 3 times Trae was on Bullock, the Knicks didn't really run that many actions for him, but Randle couldn't get him the ball. Today, Bullock was running around screens, and Trae was trying to get around them, and he was kind of torching Trae a little bit on that side of the ball. So today was the most I seen them make Trae work because Bullock was a little more aggressive shooting. Now, but the other end of that though, when Trey was switched on to Randle, Randle's decision making was just backwards, man.
Yeah.
It was backwards. He was scared to make the quick decision, and you know what? I think a lot has to do with this, and we haven't really talked about this. I think a lot of his lack of aggressiveness sometimes has to do with his selfishness, his selfish label that was put on him last year. You know what I mean? I think he's really worked hard to kind of shed that label and pass more and try to be more of a team player. And I think that kind of got into his head a little bit of when to be aggressive and when not to be this season. Like there's times today when Trey was on him, and I'm just like, barbecue chicken, take it to the hole. That's easy. Spin. Like, really, this summer, Randle, I just need you. Like, Randle has been good attacking weaknesses all season long, posting people who are weaker than him all season long. But for some reason, during the series, he wasn't able to do that. I just need Randle to look at some film of like the greats who get double teamed constantly and figure out how they handle it and figure out where their reads are, and then also look at this season's post game and do the same thing, so he can make quicker decisions out of these double teams, and and he'll be that much better for it next year. That's my hope for Randle anyway in the offseason.
Yeah, and just to be clear, like, I know Bullock was running off screens and Trey was, he made Trey. He did make Trey kind of work on defense, but what I meant more of was
switching him on RJ or something like that, right?
Yeah, like put him in isolation situations where he's forced to guard somebody one-on-one and see if he can try to draw fouls on him and get him out the game. That's more of what I meant, about attacking Trey on defense.
Yeah. You're right. You're right about that too. We didn't do that as well, and they started to do that with us, man. They started to try to attack Derrick Rose because Derrick Rose was hiding. We was hiding Derrick Rose the last game, and they figured it out a little bit this game. But still, like, even when they did figure it out, they didn't really hurt us that much to have to Derrick Rose on Hunter, really. Not that much. I feel like it was like a 50-50 battle, really, with Derrick Rose on Hunter. Like, we got a few steals out of it when they tried to go out their comfort zone and ISO Hunter, and he scored a few times. So it's still, to me, that it didn't really hurt us that much having Derrick Rose on him.
True.
All right. Next caller up. Okay, I see you, MOAU. I'm going to try to get you in here again. Hopefully your mic is working this time. All right, caller, you are now live on the KOT show. All you got to do is hit that KOT live button a few times and click watch stream, and you should be good to go. And also remember to turn your mic off. Turn your mic on, all right? Now, shout out to the chat, man. Shout out to my cousin, my real fake cousin Winston Ellis. He's in the chat. Shout out to you. I see you, brother. Oh. All right. Shout out to Mark Professor Clemente. I haven't really seen you in here, Professor Clemente. Says Tibbs got out coached. He never figured out how to attack Trey's defense. Bullock is just a spot up shooter. Trey is feasting on defense. Yeah, Tibbs definitely got out coached. It's interesting because when I'm watching like breakdowns, like the Knicks Twitter, shout out to the Knicks Twitter video guys on Twitter, man. They do really good breakdowns, and they'll talk about how Atlanta disguises their sets by by acting like they're going into one set and then switching up at the last second and then going to like a Spain pick roll and something like that, and it's thrown off the Knicks defense all season long. I mean all postseason, and they compare it, contrast it to Tibbs, who's just kind of been running the same sets that he's been running from the regular season into the postseason, and we never really put that many new wrinkles in there. So the coaching definitely plays a part in why, we haven't won this series. Whether it comes with play calling, whether it comes to experimenting with lineups, or going small at times, or not taking advantage of Trey on RJ, things like that. Like all of that plays a part. There's a lot of reasons why we lost this series, and coaching, great job by Tibbs. Coaching is one of those things that kind of went wrong. And for some reason, I tried you again, MOAU. I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm on the call.
Are you in there?
Guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Hey
right.
guys, sorry. Calling from Sydney, Australia here. So great show, first of all. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Love all the contributions. Sort of new to this whole sort of getting into the chat. So I appreciate the help with the admin to get in.
Absolutely.
Look, straight out, I just want to say I think as a franchise, the Knicks are in a really great place. I know nobody wants to get bummed about the loss, and
Right.
I think the season, we wanted to extend the season, but to be frank, I've been a Derrick Rose fan for ages. I'm actually a T-Town. I followed the Bulls since I was a kid in the '88. I'm talking about from 1988. But I've been following the Knicks as a franchise because the Knicks speak to basketball in general globally. I
Right.
mean, I'm in Sydney, Australia. You'll see people walking around with Knicks jerseys. They have no clue
Hey.
about the Knicks.
All
It's just
right.
it's a culture. Knicks basketball is a culture. It's not just the franchise. So I'm coming from that standpoint. Where the Knicks have achieved this season will only help that, and only help get more people involved in the basketball part and the organization and the culture of what you guys represent already in the States. So big shout out to all you guys who are representing, and it's excellent. It's a global movement. If I come back to this season, I think a lot of great things have been said, but a couple of my observations as an old man is that look, Thibs is a guy who's defensively focused, and the reason why he didn't sort of work out in Chicago and in Minnesota is the same thematic around massive workloads for his starters, and offensively he's limited. And I think this is where if Knicks want to make a change in the coaching staff, is to bring in a good offensive-minded assistant coach. Because I see Thibs sort of stabilizing the franchise for the next 2 to 3 years, and then sort of stepping away and to do that. Because he's kind of like that guy who comes in with broken pieces, puts it together. He builds the foundation for your house, but he ain't gonna finish it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that by his record, and that's everyone plays a part, right? And I see that happening if the Knicks want to move forward, and the same thing applies from a roster perspective. The Knicks have like one of the cheapest rosters in the whole NBA.
Yeah.
They have per dollar out. Like you look at the Lakers, they're almost a game or so away from being bounced, right? Which is kind of sad for the NBA, but as fans, we're kind of like happy on one side. They've like, if you look at return on investment, the Knicks have killed it. They've demolished all expectations, and I think a lot of credit's due to Randle. I think Randle's gonna go back and get better, but I do agree that I don't think he's the tier 1 player. He's not the franchise player. He's the number 2 option.
Right.
And when I talk about my Derrick Rose, I think, look, I frankly think Derrick Rose needs to move on from the Knicks. Not because I don't think look, he's been phenomenal. All right, let's look at the record and the win ratio that he's brought to the Knicks. But I'm talking about fit. You can't have RJ, Randle, and potentially another primary option all needing the ball. Derrick Rose needs to play with, like, what the Hawks did was one guy penetrates with 3 to 4 shooters on the outside. And that's where I think there was some chemistry glitches that they needed to work out on the point guard situation. Because that will help, and this is not disrespecting any of these players. These players are all awesome, and I think the Knicks have a lot of big questions to ask. Do they really want to go in hard next free agency? Because from what I guess, and you guys would know better, the free agency pool looks pretty bad. It's not like, do you want to pay Kyle Lowry $25-30 million for a guy who's like 36? I don't know. So back to you guys.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. Go ahead, Ryan. I feel like you want to say something.
No, I definitely agree from the standpoint of that this free agency coming up is not really a strong free agency, and you definitely don't want to give guys like Kyle Lowry, who's like 36 years old already, 25, 30 mil or whatever is the amount he's going to command. But as for Rose not fitting in, I don't know. I would like if the Knicks did bring Rose back as a backup point guard. Like, I wouldn't start Rose. Like, I would definitely put in somebody within, I would definitely try to get a playmaking point guard, whether it's through a trade or through free agency, because there are some decent, playmaking point guards coming in through free agency this season. And I would try to be like, okay, let me put in a playmaking point guard in that within that first unit and that second unit. I think Rose did well with Quickly and Burks and those guys. So I think it could work out with Rose staying, another season or two. But it's up to Rose ultimately, and Rose got to make the best decision for his future. But I feel like he does fit in with what the Knicks are trying to do, especially within the second unit.
Yeah, I believe so too. And let's keep it true because he's talking about shooters. Like RJ was a shooter all season. Well, almost all the whole season, except when it came to the playoffs. So like if RJ hits his threes in the clip he was in the postseason, the playoffs, it's a different series. And even today, man, like half of his threes were in and out for the last 2 games. Like I don't know what is going on, but it just hasn't really been clicked. But I think the Tibbs, it really, like you said, Ryan, it depends on what Rose wants. Like Tibbs loves Rose, and Rose loves Tibbs. It seems like Rose plays his best when Tibbs is around. So if that's what he wants, I feel like he's gonna end up staying. If he wants to chase a ring, that's his right to do so too. But I wouldn't mind having Derrick Rose back. And as far as free agency goes, yeah, like it might be thin this year. Like you said, it's all gonna be about the disgruntled star, if anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all gonna be about the disgruntled star. It might not even be about the straight out free agent. We might have to see who's pissed.
Yeah, and I think the other I've heard a lot of chatter about Bradley Beal and Westbrook. Look, they're fantastic players, but if you're gonna keep Randle, I don't know if those guys are the right fit. And I could be wrong, but I just don't see it working. I think someone like a Brogdon might be in a good fit. And look, to me, to be frank, I believe that D Rose is a starter, but it depends where. And the only other issue I have is what do we do with IQ? Because is he a off guard? Is he your future point guard? And do they start him off? Because the guy got range. He's got range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like right now. He's a combo man. Like, and here's the thing. This is the thing about Tibbs too. And you know what? Tibbs sometimes he gives players more rope. The more they stay around. Hopefully, we get to experiment a little bit more with IQ going down the line. Like, because like I said, I just like the fact that he can give you a point guard if he is a lead guard who can shoot from like 30 feet in right, because it just stretches the defense that much more. It's just that his playmaking has to get a lot better, and he's taken some strides this season towards the end. His driving kick game has gotten better. He's tried to give some lobs, but he has to do that at a more consistent basis, and that's just gonna come with reps, So yeah, like I like Quickly, man. Hopefully he's a combo guard. Hopefully he gets a little bit more run as a lead guard, and that's all gonna depend on what's gonna happen in the offseason. Because I know, like you said, Lowry is also a target, and I'm cool with Lowry being here as long as it's short-term deal.
Yeah.
But I also still want to see Quickly get some run at point guard to expand his game too.
Yeah, and look, I mean, this is my sort of like pie in the sky, and I'll sign off after this is saying, if I got a prayer, I'd be asking for Dame Lillard at the Knicks. Because I just think Dame would destroy the likes of Trey and whatnot. And the other thing is, I hate quoting Stephen A., but, Randle and RJ need to learn how to go right.
Yeah,
they need to learn how to go right,
man. Yo,
yeah, you know what's funny? Because I was about to say it too. I was like, watch out for Damian Lillard because I think early on First Take Stephen A was talking about it as well, because you have to think about it, like the Trailblazers have tried Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum for like 8 years now, and if they get bounced in the first round of the playoffs again, like the Blazers might have to do something, because it's like, how you gonna have these two guys in the backcourt for 8 years and y'all don't go nowhere? So I don't know if Lillard can be convinced to leave Portland, because he's on this whole I want to be a one franchise player, and y'all people run away from the grind and this and that. But I'm like, if anyhow the Portland Trailblazers decide that they have to go in a different direction, if I was a Knicks, I would be trying to get Lillard here ASAP. through trade.
I already know. Ryan likes the big game hunting, and I'm also come on. How you not a little fan out, especially after seeing what he was doing last night? My thing is always going to be, what is the cost? My man is on the other side of 30, and they're going to if it's picks, okay. If it's picks and young guys, then that's when it starts getting crazy because he's still at the other side of 30. So how many years does he really have left? Like we're in this age of the NBA where it's like weird because we have guys who are 30, 31, 32, and they're still kind of balling. And then you're looking at LeBron, who's getting up there, and he's still at a high level. And just because of the technology and the way people take care of their bodies, you're not sure exactly what the age range of the ceiling is anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like to add to that though, it's like you got CP3. That guy's like, I don't know, 50 by now. I don't know. Like, I mean, he's haters, right? But it's how they play, and this is what I like about, and this is where I think Rose has tried to shift his game as well. Is you can't get hit as hard. And look, if this was 90s basketball, Trae Young would be in the hospital right now. All right, let's
Absolutely.
just say, because that's just. So I think what I'm trying to, not that I wish that, but I'm just saying that someone like Lillard, because he plays with range, this guy can play up to 37, I reckon, because he just keeps shooting further and further away. I mean, and honestly, imagine a lineup of RJ, Randle, Lillard, and D Rose coming off the bench. Who you pick your poison? I mean, I know it's all dreamy and strawberries and ice cream and all that sort of stuff, but seriously, if that happens, I'm like, damn, that's it.
Yeah.
That's championship contention. You're not going to sit there and say, oh, if we get it to the first round. But, look, guys, you guys have been fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm going to follow you guys up and keep following. And thank you so much.
Absolutely. What's your name again, sir?
Well, my name is Mohammed. So I'm calling from Australia.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Mohammed from
All
Australia.
right.
Thank you for calling in, man.
Thanks.
All right, man.
Salute, man. Yeah, my thing about Dame is like are they gonna want our young players? Like that's what it all comes down to, because they're gonna want to go young. Are you willing to give up RJ and these guys to get Dame Lillard? That's the
thing, man. But the thing is like which I've been noticing nowadays is that star players dictate where they want to go, and if Lillard tells Portland like trade me, and the only place I want to go to is the Knicks, I feel like Portland's gonna have to take whatever we give them. Of course, they're gonna have to give up some picks and stuff like that, but I think the trade won't be as bad as Knicks trying to force the issue and they're not really trying to come here. You know what I mean?
That's a big if, because I don't even seem like Dame's personality at this point. But I mean, you never know. I mean, it happened with Kevin Garnett at the end of his, like towards the end of his career when he was all team Timberwolves, and then, but I don't know. You just never know, man. You just never know. I'm not expecting Dame to say anything, really.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, this is just a pipe dream for me. Like, I wish Dame would come to the Knicks, but I'm just saying that, like, Dame has spoken glowingly of like Madison Square Garden and things like Dame loved playing at Madison Square Garden. Like, I know that for a fact. So I mean, you never know. Like, if he does one day try to force himself out of Portland, I do think Knicks, as long as the Knicks have a good roster, which I think they will, if he does in the future, Dame coming to New York might be a possibility.
It might be. We'll see. I don't know, but hold on. Let me get this super chat in real quick. Shout out to Picks for Timmy. He sends a $4.99 super chat. Says, salute to KOT and Knicks fans everywhere. The future is bright, fam. Absolutely right. We got the cap space. We got the money. We got
Shout out to Worldwide West.
Worldwide West and Leon Rose up in the office, man. We're in good space right now, man. We just got to keep the course and make the correct moves. All right. Next caller up. All right. Shout out to Who Aid. We are now live on the KOT show. All you got to do is hit that KOT live button a couple of times. And then also hit watch stream too, and you'll hear Ryan. All right. So shout out to you. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, you can?
Yeah. Here you go.
Yes.
What's going on, man?
Okay. Hey, man. Before the series started, I was a little worried because of what Nate McMillan said about the NBA wanting to pick the Knicks. That kind of was like on some Phil Jackson then type stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like it kind of affected the play of the game a little bit and how they called it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, most definitely.
At halftime, I think the Knicks had 5 fouls to 16, I believe was the disparity at halftime.
Yeah, they weren't calling no fouls on the Hawks.
Yeah, 15 free throws to 6 at halftime for the Hawks.
Yeah, man. And I feel like we need like a passing point guard. I don't know if we really need a scoring point guard like that. Just somebody that could really like shoot or pass.
Yeah,
yeah.
Absolutely, man. I'll say this one thing, man. I was really hoping to get I was really wanting Lonzo Ball here, because I felt like he would be a nice piece for us, because he sets people up. He's unselfish, and the 3-point shot has been better, so he'll be able to space the floor. But this series, man, has kind of rattled my Lonzo Ball target a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, Ryan. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, you mean that as in like you think the Knicks need Lonzo Ball even more now, or you kind of off that bandwagon? Like the Knicks go?
Like I'm changing course a little bit because of the lack of playmaking that Randle was giving us this series. It kind of made me back off a little bit because of the way Lonzo gets his passes and his points isn't really through penetration so much, It's more through lead fast break, lead passes, swinging. And when you look at this series, it seems like we needed like an aggressive shot maker to kind of keep things honest. And that's the thing that Lonzo doesn't really give you.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, during the season, maybe it might work out for us during the season for Lonzo, right? If he stays on his trajectory. But for playoff time, he has to be a lot more aggressive. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's my overall sentiment anyway.
You're definitely right.
Any more points for you? Did I ask you your name and where you from?
East Orange. Called last game.
Okay, East Orange. Shout out to you.
Yeah.
My memory bad, so.
No, you could. Also think that Mitchell Robinson. What you guys think? You guys think Mitchell Robinson and Noel are both good combination centers, or we're gonna find a better, maybe a stretch, or maybe play Toppin more or something? Because we need a stretch. Somebody that can spread the floor for Randle. If Randle's gonna be working in the middle like that.
Yeah. I agree with you there, man. And it's funny because during the season, what I always say is like if the Knicks are playing well, right, and we're holding. Usually, what happens is right when somebody gets injured and the Knicks are still playing good, or that team is still playing good, they kind of look at the injured guy like, all right, well maybe we can trade him for another piece of need. This series kind of might have brought Mitch's value back up a little bit. So, I'm not sure what the Knicks are gonna do because this is Noel's. Noel has a 1-year deal. Mitch has to be kept. I know Tom likes to have shot blocking fives in general in his rotation and multiple of those. I personally would like to have a shot blocking shooting five. Will the Knicks go in that direction? I don't know, but it's obvious, like you said, that we need more spacing for Randle. If Tibbs is not going to play small and have Randle at the 5, we definitely need a 3-point shooting 5 for sure.
Definitely. And I think that's all I wanted to say, man. I appreciate calling in. Let's go Knicks, man.
All right, man. Let's go Knicks, man.
Yes, sir. Let's go Knicks.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, man. And we're gonna be doing some shows in the summer too. Some free agency shows, of course. We always like to do those.
Also, draft too.
Draft shows. We're going to do a season. We gotta do a season wrap up show. We always do our patent season wrap ups. We give you a bunch of stats and facts, so we definitely watch out for later shows, and also watch out for some collaboration coming on. So I got some special stuff planned for the summer for you guys. All right, so just stay tuned. And if you like the show, you like us, hit that like and subscribe button. Wait, hold on, I gotta hit the ooh button. The gunshots is going up because Big Reaper sends a $20 super chat, says good season.
Okay,
I'm okay with ending because they won't see us come in next. Also, I agree with Jay on Lonzo. We definitely can't overpay for him. Yeah. I'm curious to see what Raw's been saying, because Raw's been on the team Dennis Schroeder edition all season long. So I'm curious what he has to say about that.
I don't know about Dennis Schroeder, man. After seeing what he did in Game 5 for the Lakers, I don't know.
Hey, pressure bust pipes, man. The pressure bust
I don't know, man.
Playoffs is changing minds out here, man.
Word.
Changing minds out here. Like, what do we need again? Ooh. Man, that's gonna be hard. All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on, chat. Hold on. I gotta bring the energy up. Cause Mr. Energy is coming in right now.
All right.
Mr. Energy's caller, you are now live on the KOT show. You're a vet, so you already know what to do. Hit that KOT live button a couple of times.
Test.
Yeah, there it is.
Test. Hold on. I don't think that's Ryan G. Test.
Ryan, say something.
Hello? You can hear me?
Oh yeah. I got you. All right, let's start it over. Here we go. Test.
Yeah.
Let's go. We just got eliminated. Hey. It's all good though. You know why? I'm gonna tell you why. First things first, I'm super proud of the squad, baby. When I get cut, you know what I bleed? Orange and blue. It's like, y'all, I know what it is. We bleed that orange and blue. Think, their season ended. Nah, son, things are just getting started. You know why? I'm gonna tell you why. Because we about to start rebuilding. You see, the reason why I know we in a good spot is because I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking about making adjustments, about adding. This is the end all be all. Feel me? There was a lot of things that I saw that I feel like within we need to change. But there's also some things in the future I feel like we're going to naturally change because we're going to grow and we're going to evolve because we got the God Squad in the front of Cats sleeping on Leon Rose, Papa Leon. Cats is sleeping on World Wide West. Stop playing, son. We lit out here. I believe in them. I trust in them. And you know what they brought to this team this year? Something that I've been fiending for years. Competence. I love being a competent organization moving forward. As far as what I saw in this series, not having Mitchell Robinson was a big deal.
Right.
We got killed in the paint. We did need some rim protection. And it sucks because Nerlens Noel, second in shots blocks for the entire season, had an ankle injury. Todd Gibson held it down low. But every time Trae Young would come off the screen and he had a three, he went straight to that floater. And unfortunately, it was to the Noel. They had to body up because Capella, he was killing on the glass. So, our bigs couldn't focus on the floater. It is what it is. I did not like the lack of adjustments, in my opinion, from Coach Tibbs as far as lineups is concerned, as far as offensive strategy. I felt like it was very predetermined and predictable. I felt like Emmanuel Quigley should have got way more minutes. He came in the game in the third quarter, around 2 or 3 minutes in the third quarter, instantly banged the three. I believe that was his second three of the game. Then he instantly gets a deflection in the corner. And now Knicks get possession of rock. Guess what he does? He looks three off the screen. It's not there. Drives. And what does he do? Something he does all season long. Draws the foul.
Exactly.
Only made 1 out of 2 free throws. But the quarter ended, and I was like, dang, hold on. Why haven't I seen IQ all night? I pulled up my phone. 36 3 quarters. This man played 6 minutes and 47 seconds. At that point in time, I said, yo, Coach Tibbs, what are you doing? And then the fourth quarter starts. What does IQ do? ASAP. Full court pressure, baby. And what happened? Turnover. Because and all that indicated that I got more burned, which is why I say I wanted more adjustments from the coaching. I feel like the French freak, Frank Ntilikina, should have got some burn this series. I feel like he would have helped slowing down Trae Young. Trae Young's unguardable, but he would have helped slow him down. Putting Reggie Bullock on him to guard him one-on-one with no double team, as we saw, is a bad idea. You feel me? But long story short, we got outplayed. Shout out to the Atlanta Hawks. Their fans are killing me on Twitter, but I'm fighting back.
That's right. Gotcha.
They fighting me, but I'm fighting right back. And I'm gonna tell you what. As far as adjustments for this unit moving forward, whether it's Alonzo Ball, whether it's a Miles Turner, a player who I think would have killed in this series.
Man, I would have loved a Miles Turner.
That would probably mean that would probably mean losing Mitchell Robinson. I know people don't want to lose him, but whether it's acquiring Lonzo, whether it's acquiring Miles Turner, Jalen Suggs in the draft, or Cade Cunningham Suggs, who had a crazy shot, whether it's trading for Lillard, we think we can't do because his contract is crazy. I think it's 4 years, and he would have to demand a trade, and he's not like that. Whatever it is, we are a competent organization. The reason why Georgia is so hyped is because they beat us, and if we weren't involved, it wouldn't be as lit. Simple as that. You saw that crowd reaction. You saw that atmosphere. Game 1, Game 2, Game 5.
Yeah,
and you know what they did in Georgia? Game 3 and Game 4. KOT, Jay Ellis, Ryan G, Stats and Facts. Yo, they pump fake noise because they wanted to be like us. They was pumping fake noise. So it is what it is. You hear this noise. This is real noise, Georgia. We ain't putting it on this side.
They play
this
it,
how
man.
we get down. The New York Knicks going to be A-OK. Because Mr. Alejandro and his goons that bleed blue and orange, we thinking long term. We thinking 2024, 2025, 2026. Y'all can have y'all little 2021 and get eliminated by Philly next round. Go ahead. That's all right with us.
That's right, man. Listen.
Yo, KFC, hold it down. I rock with y'all heavy, man. Be safe. Stay positive. I know a lot of cats is down, but I ain't down. I ain't afraid of Atlanta. I still feel like we're a better team, even though I'm clearly bugging. But
now I'm with you, son. I'm with you. I'm with you, man. I'm with you on that list, dog.
We did not put our best on the court, but hey, it is what it is. We lost. I ain't no sore loser, but I'm still ready to fight. Somehow, some way. So I guess the way that I'm going to fight is just watching the Sixers and watching the Hawks moving forward and rooting for them to lose.
That's right. Let's go Sixers.
All
right, man.
And seriously. Oh, wait. Before I bounce, talk to me about as I hang up. Talk to me about what would y'all do this offseason as far as any of the acquisitions I mentioned, Lonzo, Turner, the draft, Lillard, whatever it is. I know Lillard is like a crazy trade, but whatever it is, man, y'all do y'all thing. Be safe.
All right,
man.
Salute.
You too, man.
Salute to tell him Alejandro, man. Always brings you the energy. Every single time. And he catches you with the facts with the energy. It's now just all hype. He catches you with the hype. He catches you with the facts, and he mixes it between the two, man. And I love Tilly. I love when he calls it, man. It's always dope when he calls it, man.
Facts.
But yeah, he ended it with a question, Ryan. Said, "What would you do at the end of the season, man?" This is a tough question to end on because on the fly, man. Before this playoff season started, I had a whole different vision of what I wanted to do, and now I kind of need to sit on it a little bit. Because my vision is changing. My vision is changing after getting rocked.
Yeah.
In the playoffs.
I mean, like, at the moment, like, as I said, like, definitely a priority is a playmaking point guard. I think that's definitely a priority. Now, who that playmaking point guard is remains to be seen. I mean, I'm not fully off the Lonzo Ball train yet. I feel like he would be helpful. Of course, I would also be looking for that big star as well, that disgruntled star. Right. I would be on the lookout for that as well, because we all know Randle's a number 2. He's not really a number 1. You need that guy that's gonna be in there and that's gonna really create shots and dominate on offense. And besides that, now I do like the idea of a stretch big though.
I'm liking that Miles Turner.
I do like the idea of a stretch big.
I was all for when Miles Turner was in the rumors. I was kind of for it. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I'm not sure what it'll take to get him, but like, especially the way Tibbs coaches. You know what I mean? Where he's just not willing to go small, but he likes his big man. If that's the case, man, if we can get a big man that can shoot threes. Remember years ago we was even talking about like Deadman. Ryan.
Oh yeah, Deadman, yeah.
Like just somebody to get him out the paint, man. Cause man, we were like this season we were bottom of the league. I think number 29 in finishing at the rim.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Bottom of the league, and I feel like at one point that was one of Randle's strengths. You know, before he got to the Knicks. He was able to finish at the cup with gusto, especially like the thing on him was he's able to go downhill, and once he's going downhill, you can't be stopped. That was the thing. That's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
That's not a thing anymore. So I think that would help us out for sure. A playmaking guard for sure. An all-star to add. Maybe it's still Levine. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
and a playmaking guard for you.
Yeah, most definitely. Like, and when I say stretch big, I mean like Miles Turner. Like Alejandro said, like I feel like Miles Turner would definitely be a good addition because he can stretch the floor. He could be a blocking. He can protect the paint as well. And like somebody like also like for example like a Brook Lopez. Somebody like that. He can shoot the three, but also at the same time protect the paint. Like I think we can find a big like that to complement Mitchell Robinson. When Mitchell Robinson comes out the game, that big man comes in. I feel like that'd be a good addition.
Yeah, like maybe he won't be as good as a shot blocker, but can stretch the floor, so give you something else that Mitch doesn't have. And you're right, Alejandro. Miles Turner is fuego, and Deadman, he's a poor man's version.
Yeah,
he's definitely a poor man's version, right?
Great value,
great, exactly. On the for sale rack, but
word.
But we need a discount at this point. So I mean. Whatever stretches the floor with us is what I want. All right. Salute. Okay. I see another caller in the chat. People look showing up for the last last show of the season. The last post game. The last post game. There's going to be more shows this season.
Post game of the season. Yeah.
There's going to be more shows this season. This is the last post game. All right. So salute to you guys for showing up. All right, caller. See, now people are coming in. They see how easy it is to really link to the Discord. It's not that hard. It's easy. It's easy. All right. Caller. All right, caller, you are now live on the KOT show. All you gotta do is hit that KOT live button a few times and hit watch stream. When you hit watch stream, that's when you can hear Ryan as well. All right.
All right. Can you hear me?
And there you go, Ryan.
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Yeah, I hear him.
All right. Hey, what's up, fellas, man? How you guys doing?
Doing all right, man.
Yeah, we doing good, man.
Regardless of the outcome of the game, man.
Yes, sir.
I'm still happy with this squad. I'm still proud of the squad, and I'm curious to see what moves you're gonna make next season.
Right on, man. Hey, I just wanted to say, man, I've been a Knicks fan since 1990. My teen years, were the Knicks, Ewing, Starks, Mason, Oakley.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I've lived, Xavier McDaniel, Charlie Ward, Chris Childs.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I've lived a lot of pain with this team, and we had some good times in there also. You know what I'm saying? Playoff battles and all that. But I mean, this season, we gotta keep it in perspective.
Right.
I mean, Vegas had us like a 21 wins. You know what I'm saying? And we crushed that. And how many times does Vegas get taken to the cleaners?
Right? I wish I put money on Vegas this season,
Me
man.
Too, I should have put money on that.
You know what I'm saying? How many times did they get taken to the cleaners? You know how the Knicks took them this year.
Exactly.
So in the moment, of course, once we exceeded the expectations and we got into the playoffs, of course we all wanted to win, and then I think it kind of made us forget that we weren't supposed to be here this year.
No, we ain't forget.
So I think.
But go ahead.
We
ain't forget.
I think that's why people started, piling on Randle, and I agree. Randle in the playoffs was really bad. I mean, this was like, I think it was just like 19, no handles Randle really for the whole series. But
yeah,
he got us there. So if I'm the team, what I would do is, he's gonna be with us next year, right? Because they got that option. And if he plays the way he played during the season, up to like, let's say the All-Star break, then I would give him his bag at that point. But I'm just worried to pay him now in the summer when he performed like this in the playoffs. And this was his breakout year. Before this, he was just okay. So, I don't want to sign him. And the real Randle we get is the 19 version. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what I'll say to that? You want to say something, Ryan? I feel like you have something to say.
No, I was reading somewhere where like I think if the Knicks give him an extension this summer is only going to be like 106 million. I think I read that somewhere where it's going to be a cheap extension. Like so I'm scared too. Like if the Knicks wait, it might extending him might be a bit more expensive.
Right.
So
right.
you got to keep that in perspective as well.
But Randle might want to wait too. That's the thing.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, Randle might want to wait.
It might not be straight up to the Knicks. Maybe Randle's gonna be like, listen, I can better myself. And listen, man, as much you're not gonna catch. I will criticize Randle. Yes, you're not going to watch me pile on Randle this season at all, especially after the transformation he made from last season to this season. He deserves all the praise and all the kudos and all his flowers right now. This man was the king of New York before the playoffs. You couldn't speak his name. You couldn't say anything wrong about him. So for everybody who's like trashing right now, bruh's for you, all right? Because this man put in the work. And even though we didn't get past the Hawks, he did a hell of a job improving his game, and he's improved every season. Man. He's improved every season in his NBA career except for one. All right, so I expect him to get better next season as well. It's just at this point, it's work. He's gonna get better. How much he'll get better, it remains to be seen. But I do believe he'll be better next season.
Right on, man. And then as far as the series, I think even with as bad as we played, we had winnable games there. Game 1, you know, we lost it with Bogdan. Trey was cooking us the whole series, but Bogdan was the one hitting the big shots. Like anytime, you know, in Game 1, if we get that rebound and he doesn't hit that 3, we win that game. That's where we lost the game, not the Trey Young play after that. We lost the game there when Bogdan hit that 3. Absolutely. And then in games 3, 4, and 5, like anytime we would make a run, he would be the one that like would hit like a critical 3. Like it might not be a big deal right then, but you see it like we would be up like 5 and like miss, and he would hit a 3 and like they'd be up 8. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so he was the one that was like, Trey was getting his, which he was gonna get. But Bogdan was the one that was really hitting like the back-breaking shots, man, every game. And then the last 5 minutes of the second quarters, in 3, 4, and 5, also we had complete meltdowns. Those last 5 minutes in 3, 4, and 5, that lost us the games. Really, like just complete meltdowns.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah,
our lack of offensive fluidity caught up to us in those games, and like I've been saying all season. I mean, all postseason, like. Listen, like we've done well all season, hitting threes, making plays when it counted, and closing out a lot of tight. We closed out a fair amount of tight games this season. When it got to the postseason, the Knicks never really adjusted. Randle never really adjusted all season, and it came back to bite us, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Next season will be better. That's all I have to say about that.
Absolutely, man. Yes, and on that point as well. That the Hawks would also go cold, and we couldn't capitalize. Like they would go cold for long stretches, and then we couldn't score either. You know, like today they were like 3 for 17 from 3, and they're up 5 at half. You know, so that was the other part. It wasn't just Randle, man. Like Randle would have a bad game, combined with RJ having a bad game, combined with Burks having a bad game, Bullock's having a bad game.
Oh yeah,
and so it was really a complete meltdown from the team A, but I'm proud of those guys, and I'm on the Lonzo train. I don't think we need to make crazy moves. Bring in Lonzo and just imagine him, throwing lobs to Mitch and Obi. As far as the playoffs, Obi, man, was the big
salute.
Anytime he was in there, he had energy, and the team had energy, and same thing with IQ in game 1s and tonight. He wasn't afraid. Like, he was literally the only one trying to, bring us back at the end. So him and Obi will be better next year. RJ will be better. And if his finishing just gets a little better, like if he had that soft touch, the way he drives.
Right.
And if he got the foul calls, he would be scoring 25 points next year.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? If he just gets the calls and just has like a little bit of a softer finish at the rim. So I don't think we need to make all these crazy moves, man. Bring in Lonzo. Keep finding people in the draft, how they found IQ. I got confidence in the front office. Obi is going to take steps next year. RJ's going to take steps. And, a move like Dillard is something you make when you're, making the Western Conference Finals and you need to get over that hump. Like, we got, shellacked in the first round, man. We did not need, for what we would give up, it would make us not competitive. We would just pretty much have him.
Yeah.
It wouldn't change anything. It'd be like, so, I just bring in Lonzo, keep the young guys we got, and the draft.
Yeah.
And then, when free agency hits, like you said, that not, there'll be other players out there, but we don't got to make, crazy moves right now, man. And we're on the way up. And peace out, man. That's it, fellas.
Absolutely. And what's your name? Where you from? Once again?
Andres, man, from Florida. But my username is 85.gooden.
All right. Shout out to you, Andres from Florida.
All right, man.
All right, man. Later.
All right, later.
All right, man. Peace.
Good call, man. Shout out to Andre, man. A lot of good points,
Yes,
man.
sir.
I'm really looking forward to OB next season because I know Randle's been playing a lot of minutes this season, and just a nice, OB's only been playing 10 minutes a game, just extending that to 15 to 20, and even maybe experimenting the small ball game there too. Like playing maybe next season, maybe we'll finally see OB and Randle together and see how that works out. You know what I mean? Especially if his defense keeps progressing like it has been even during this season. During the postseason, his defense has gotten a lot better. You know?
Yeah, man, and he made a good point too about OB and quickly, really showing up and the young guys showing up, and that is why I would have liked it if Thibs would have tried Frank for a while, even if it's somebody else like Knox, because the thing with young players is that like they have the energy, and sometimes the energy can be contagious, and it's like if you put in one of those young guys in, to see if they can get, try to get the starters going. Like you never know what happens. You know what I'm saying? Because like, look, for example, with Frank, like we have seen games this season where Frank is a menace on defense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who knows if he put Frank in the game where Frank could have maybe produced similar performances, like for example, the defensive game he had against the Lakers. Who would have known if he put Frank in the game, he would have produced another performance like that, and that would have definitely helped out the Knicks. Like I think
agree.
Thibs just has to try the young guys, man. Like if the veterans if the veterans can't make it happen, sometimes you gotta bring those young guys off the bench to bring in that energy.
I agree with you, man. I don't know if you saw this point because I was talking about Frank when you left to do what you had to do, but like I don't agree with starting Frank like you said, but I do agree that I do feel like that would have put Frank in a bad spot to start him in like Game 5 cold. Considering like how he is with pressure sometimes and getting into the flow of the game.
Yeah.
But I do feel like maybe if you brought him on like a little later in the first quarter to guard him or something, and then to get some reps in that way, I do feel like you're right. He should have gotten some more burn and a little more try instead of just 30-second stints here and there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And salute to my guy. Salute to Rodney saying that's my friend in real life. Shout out to Rodney who's actually watching the game with me. He says, "Yo, I made it back home. Positive season over. Not mad at all. Wish we saw more OB all season. More IQ versus Hawks. But season 21-22, more shotters, more shooters."
Yes, we need more shooters. Definitely.
My bad. I was thinking shotters. I was thinking, okay, my bad. Yeah, I'm over. I was looking at my Bodman Barrett over it. But I agree with you. I agree with you, man. More shooters are definitely going to be. That's the tricky part of who to go after this season.
Yeah.
Because the Knicks were top 3 in shooting threes this season, and we couldn't hit a 3 in the playoffs.
Yeah, but you see, that's the thing though. Like it's kind of like fool's gold in a way, because it's like the Knicks were top 3 in shooting, but then when you look at the Knicks roster, it's like who on the Knicks roster is really a sharp shooter, like a pure shooter? And probably the only guy you can really point to is a pure shooter is Bullock. Right.
It's interesting when you have 4 players. And who is it? Randle, RJ.
Wait. My for Bullock and Quickly. I forgot Quickly. Yeah, Quickly's the other one.
But
that's it though.
But Ryan, at the end of the season, Randle, Rose, RJ, and Bullock all shot 40% from 3. 40%.
I know,
IQ crazily. He was the worst shooter from 3 at the end of the season at 39.
I know, man, but my point is that, like, when you think of Randle, when you think of Barrett, do you really think of them as sharpshooters, though? That's my thing.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they pretty much overperformed.
You
know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about, like, shooters, like, guys that like, they're on the court to shoot the rock. it's only really two guys. It's only Bullock and Quickly.
You know what I'll say? You know what I'll say about the details of being a shooter? I will say this, all right? The difference between our shooters and their shooters. Why is my camera blurry all of a sudden? Okay. Bullock, to your point, right? Sharpshooter. Shoots quickly. Oh, I see you, Fritz. I'll get you in right after this point. I think everybody else are really kind of set shooters.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really shoot the ball quickly and load, like, you know what I'm saying? Even Quickly doesn't really shoot the ball quickly. You know? quickly he gets away with the shooting because of the spacing, where he takes the shots. That's what makes him viable, because he takes it, you know, like at 28 feet and out, and also can shoot off like the pick. But he's not really like a quick release type of guy. So I think that might be the issue with us. Maybe we need quicker shooters. You know what I mean? That's just something to think about. Or even just movement shooters, guys who can hit that, go off the curl, boom, hit a shot.
Yeah.
Kind of like Bullock, because Bullock is the only one who kind of can do that.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Now, closing out on the night, I see my guy Fritz is in the queue. Shout out to Fritz. Now you are live on the KOT show. You already know what to do. I'm gonna just wait. Yeah, man.
You know what? We knew it was gonna end, but we didn't think it was gonna end like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a very successful season, and the Knicks have to be happy that it ended the way it ended. We ended the year with no major injuries hanging over the Knicks' head.
Right.
Richard Robinson, he's ready to train. We don't have anybody say, hey, they're gonna show up in December, they're gonna show up in January. We have all our players ready for development over the summer.
Right.
And just like last year, they're gonna be putting them to work. That's a major win. The Knicks got cap space. The Knicks got the buzz.
Yeah.
We're talking about Worldwide West. Everybody's been saying, "Hey, there's somebody behind the scenes. There's a star waiting to come to New York." Now we see if that's true.
Yeah.
Is it true or is it not true? We just have the Celtics, you know, making big moves too. So we got the Celtics trying to swing with a big hit. You got the Mavs looking to make a big hit. You got the Clippers wanting to make moves. This summer, you might see a lot of players moving spots. So the Knicks are going to be in there.
Yeah. What free agents are available is going to be the question, but maybe a lot of these other tier players.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I know. Honestly, I don't think the Knicks are going to be doing the whole free agency thing. Honestly, I think they're gonna go a different route. So, I think Worldwide West. He's gonna work behind the scenes. He's gonna you know, him and Chris Paul. He's gonna see it. Hey, Chris, you know the garden's full. Because last year, Chris said he went the whole New York experience, and if you couldn't get it, never mind. So
I'd be surprised if he left Phoenix, but go ahead.
Yeah, but the Knicks can give him that 3-year contract, which it's a lot. But, but that's in that whole family there.
Right.
So, but I honestly think the Knicks are gonna buy low on players and see if they can develop them. I think they're gonna take flawed players. There's a few players who are up for contracts, not this summer but next summer. Get them on their last year. If they work out, good. If they don't work out, let them go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. You got your Colin Sexton. Sexton is in that.
I know you've been talking about Colin Sexton for a while.
Marvin Bagley's in that little thing, and they're trying to get rid of him before they have to either pay him. So Knicks could, take on these contracts. Hey, you produce, we sign you. You don't produce, bye. Or, you don't produce, we going to put you in a trade, So I think this summer, that's the Knicks, because I think there's going to be a lot of teams overpaying. There's going to be a lot of teams paying way too much for trades. They're going to be paying way too much for players. And I think if the Knicks play it right, they can get maybe a mix of players that, hey, the development team is supposed to be that good, test them out and see if they're that good.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. I gotta see
also,
more. Oh, go ahead.
And also, Brooklyn is peaking. So Brooklyn is, they're in their prime, and the Knicks are no rush to just get a little better while Brooklyn is in prime condition. The Knicks should be looking, hey, we want to build a dynasty. How much talent can I get in here at one time and see where we could take it from there?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Our timeline is completely different from Brooklyn, so we're definitely not in any rush at all to to compete.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm definitely with you.
Yeah, but I think it's been an amazing season. I think when you look back at this season, people are going to be talking about the season for a while.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, most
for
definitely.
now, it hurts, but they're going to be talking about, like, wow, that shouldn't have happened. Like, 99, like, that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those overachieving seasons for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm okay. I'm one of those few people who are okay with the Knicks taking a step back before they take a step forward. Make sure you're building a team for the long haul. Don't build a team, hey, we can compete for a year, or we can make something happen for a couple of years. Build it so that there's so much talent that, hey, if I want to go get a player, I can put a couple of these players together and get one. Instead of, hey, make it versatile.
Absolutely. I think that's what they're gonna do. I think that's what they're gonna be doing too, because we haven't really been, we don't overspend. That's you kind of showed how we play things. We play things kind of conservatively, so I don't expect us to overspend. And I think we're going to continue to take that conservative approach as well. And shout out to the chat. We did forget about a certain Argentinian point guard.
Yes.
Who can come in, like, who knows? Because you know what the Nuggets are doing with Lazo over there from Argentina.
Yeah.
Maybe we find
Campazzo.
I don't know why I called him Lazo. Campazzo over there. But maybe we can, maybe we can duplicate something else. Maybe we'll see what he is. He's gonna be here all summer. He's already with the team right now. He's a guy who can make, he can shoot threes, he can play pick and roll. So this might be a playmaking guard that we need. We just have to see what he's gonna do with this team. And he's only 26 years old, so he's in that little sweet spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Knicks are in an excellent spot. I mean, I'm extremely excited about Obi Toppin. Like, I think he is what I thought he was at the beginning of the year. I think he's going to be special. His speed is ridiculous, and I think that's going to be his biggest asset.
Yeah, and the coach has to help him win, man. Because when he started, we finally started seeing some pick and roll with Obi today. With Obi being the pick guy instead of the guy in the corner three, and lo and behold, you started to see he can make adjustments on the fly in the air with the soft touch around the glass. Like we should have been doing that all season long, and that's what he's talking about when it comes to adjustments, man.
Yeah,
we need to see a lot more of that type of stuff.
All series, when the Knicks were been on fast breaks, Obi has been darting to the rim, and I'm like, if we had the right point guard, those are dunks.
Easily.
Yeah, which is why I'm still on the Lonzo Ball train, because if Lonzo Ball is
that's
here,
Lonzo's bag. That's Lonzo's bag.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a fast break point guard. He's gonna find Obi on those and get Obi easy buckets and all that.
It's the one thing. It's the fast break point guard versus the half court point guard. You know what I mean? That's my conundrum. Because in half court sets in the playoffs, Like if Randle is throwing the ball all over the place, if he's depending on Derrick Rose to make plays, and that's the only one who's getting through to us. Like what happens then? If it's a catch-22, man. There's a lot to think about this summer. But appreciate shout out to Fritz, man. Mod of the year for sure. Appreciate the call.
All right, thanks for having me.
No problem. And hold on, let me close this out real quick. Hold on a second. Shout out. It's been a great season, man. It's been a great season. Great KOT season. Started doing post game shows. Got sponsorships. Our team grew. It's playoffs for the first time. Talking about the playoffs ever. It's been a dope season. The band got back together at the end too. That was nice.
Sir.
For a show.
For that one episode.
If you don't know, man, we Ryan G, Kathy, Edson, Sean, we've done so many shows together. Life gets in the way sometimes.
Yeah, man.
But man, it was good to have those guys actually back and doing a show during the playoffs. That was pretty cool. But I just want to shout out to. Hold on a second. I gotta do this really quick. So somehow, some way, I just want to shout out. There we go. I gotta shout out to Thrive for a second because we're doing kind of like a little promo for Thrive. So let me just shout them out real quick.
All right.
And pay some bills. And I had everything set up nice and crispy, so it wouldn't take this long to set up. But you know how computers do, right, Ryan?
Yep.
Sometimes computer just does what it wants to do, and you just gotta rock with it. But you just gotta rock with it and adjust on the fly. So that's what I'm doing right now. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to people in the chat real quick, Ryan, while I get this stuff together.
Alright. So we're gonna shout out the chat right quick. Let's see. We're gonna shout out Fritz was just on the line. Winston Ellis, Tele Alejandro, Mark Confessor Clemente, Brooklyn Reptiles, Paul Butler. Yo, we see you. Nick 'em up.
Yeah, Nick 'em up, always supporting, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, shout out to you guys, man. And also shout out to Thrive Fantasy for those of you who still watching the playoffs. You can still bet. You can have prop bets with Thrive Fantasy, all right? So come prop up on Thrive Fantasy this season. Thrive is a daily fantasy sports and esports app for player props. With Thrive, you can eliminate the countless hours of research and focus on only the top tier athletes that have the biggest impact on the game. Choose 5 out of the 10 or 10 out of 20 available player props depending on the sport or esport to build up your lineup. Each drop is assigned a fantasy value for both the over and under based on how likely it is to hit the most props and rack up the most points to win a share of the prize pool. Thrive has over 20,000 guaranteed in prizes weekly and has awarded over $4 million in prizes. All right, so use the code KOT when you sign up today and you'll receive an instant match of up to $50 on your first deposit. And also you can download Thrive on the App Store or Play Store by visiting their website at www.thrivefantasy.com. Sign up and prop up today. So shout out to Thrive Fantasy for rocking with us at the KOT show. And yo, thanks for everybody who supported the show, who supported us with Nanscape, support us with Thrive, and just supported the show all year long, man. Really good season, man. And looking to build on that next season. Let's go. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, that's our show, man. That is our show. I'll keep you posted. We're gonna be doing a wrap up show, of course. We're gonna be doing a draft show, of course. And I'm gonna be keeping up with the news and rumors. Gonna be doing the news and rumors shows as well. So definitely keeping an eye out for that. And like I said, look out for some collaborations. Looking out to collaborate some people out there, for these content creators. So should look out for that stuff as well. All right, it's gonna be a nice summer for us. All right, so keep it locked on the KOT show. Stuff will still be coming out in the off season. All right. All right, man. All right, Ryan. Let them know where to find you, bro.
You can find me on Instagram at Sir G is chillin'.
Sir G is chillin'.
That's SIRG is CHILLIN. You can also find me on Twitter at Ryan G KOT.
That's right, Ryan G KOT. All right, and you can follow us on the KOT show on Twitter and Knick of Time show on Instagram and Facebook, and also follow, go to our blog. Go to the knickoftimeshow.com, and right there's where you can get our a little special KOT hats. Boom. That's how you can help. You can rock your black and white, your blue and orange color wave, and also you can check out some of the writings of our bloggers. All right, like Ken and Mikey and the rest of those guys. All right, so thank you guys for supporting us as always. That is our show, and yeah, we're out of here.
Peace.
Shout out the World Wide West.